Well, I lied. That's right, I lied. I broke the trust between the creator and the viewer because I made a video a while ago in which I talked about Battlefield 2042 and I said after that I would never make another Battlefield 2042 hate video. Well, that day has come where have lied. I will admit it. You know what? They did do something stupid because DICE and EA can go fuck themselves. Apparently Halo caused the backlash to Battlefield 2042.
What?
Yeah, because that totally makes sense. At this point, it just feels like they're pointing the blame at everybody else besides themselves. I mean, they've blamed the gamers for their high expectations. They've blamed COVID. They've blamed Halo. They're probably going to blame, like, the president at some point soon. I mean, when are they going to blame themselves? At this point, like, I get it. It's tough to admit when you failed. But, like, how do you look at this game and say, this was a good game? Like, you can't even justify this. Apparently, like, they said the day one launch was like with the day one patch was like it was stable and that it actually had like a good reception. I don't believe that was true. It might have had a good reception, but the game sucked at launch either way. In the beta, I remember making criticisms of it, saying this is going to be bad. I think a lot of people shared the same skepticism towards this game. I mean, at this point, like, you can't look at this game and say it's good, right? Like, you can go free to play, you can release every update in the world, but like you've basically just fucked your community and just given them the finger and said, you guys are the reason why we failed. No, you people are the reason why this game failed. What is it that made you think that people wanted this game? I mean, you've gotten feedback for years. I mean, there's a great video out by The Act Man. If you haven't watched it, I really recommend that you go watch it because it is an absolute, meme of a video. It's beautiful. He basically just talks about all the issues and just kind of like says it's not worth reviewing. It's not. As someone who's just now making a rant video because he's so tired of the bullshit in this game, and I'm tired of talking about it, but here I am making a video about it because at this point, like, I want to just bury it right now. This, again, is the last video I'll make about Battlefield, even though I did say that last time. But, like, I can't buy another Battlefield game after this. This is a disaster. You should fire everybody in DICE. If you don't fire anyone in DICE, you should be firing your entire PR team. I mean, they've done a shitty job of just at least acknowledging, like, we fucked up and talking to the community. They're basically just pointing the blame at everybody. And I mean, obviously it's not just like the PR team. It's the entire DICE upper executives of EA, DICE, whatever. Like, they need to just restructure that entire company. They need to just pass it on and give it to somebody else. I mean, at this point, Battlefield as a franchise is done. You can't come back from this. There's been two lackluster games. I mean, don't get me wrong. Call of Duty's released some lackluster games over the last couple of years. I will admit to that. But my God, like, at least there's a community that'll back it because at this point, I think people have accepted it. There are things that are in those games that are actually like things that people wanted. There's like quite literally nothing in this game that people wanted at all. Maps are too big, operators, there's so much latency, not enough weapons. I mean, I can go on and on for hours if I really wanted to about why this game is so bad. I mean, it took them months to even acknowledge anything. I mean, granted, it did for the same thing with Vanguard, but they at least tried to patch things and really make amends. They have done nothing. Sledgehammer owned up to their mistake. They're like, we fucked up. We did it. It was our fault. Here we are. But now at this point, DICE, EA, all of them, they're just pointing the blame elsewhere. They don't care. I mean, how do you do that? It's so ridiculous. Fuck this game and fuck this studio. I don't care. This is such a garbage game. And anyone that tries to tell me I'm wrong, which sounds like the majority is not there. Like, everyone is saying that this game is garbage. This is the reason why we are in the state we are. I think the thing that I hate the most is the fact that when they said, oh, like, the expectations are so high. Well, yeah, people are getting tired of these garbage games. I mean, literally in this article, I'm going to scroll down. You might hear my mouse because I'm just literally recording this into a microphone. But, like, a couple things I noticed from this article that literally blew my mind was, like, they basically acknowledged, like, the games have historically had bugs, and they expected them to have bugs, but it wasn't, like, to this extent. All right, so I'm going to give you credit for, like, at least acknowledging your previous games have had bugs, but at what point you can't sit there and say, like, you can't release a game and say, well, we expect bugs. We expect it to be shit. Like, that's basically what you're saying. You're expecting bugs, which you shouldn't hope for. Like, you shouldn't expect that. I mean, it's good that you're preparing for that, but you also shouldn't be like, yeah, we're going to have bugs. It is what it is. Like, you should probably get those ready before launch. Like, if you know those probably exist, maybe there's play testing. Like, there are things in place here that you just blatantly didn't do, apparently, because the game wouldn't have shipped the way it did. Who tested this game? 4-year-olds? Like, what the fuck? How did this game release the way it did? I'm just so tired of this. There's obviously I've bitched about Call of Duty, but at least I can, like, make fun of Call of Duty and meme it and still have fun. You can't do that in this game. This game is total garbage. This entire studio can go fuck itself. I've said this multiple times. I know I'm just like rambling on at this point, but it's like a disaster. I mean, and then they said something about like how they were surprised that people like are actually talking about like how much the game sucks, and they thought they could just release a game and patch it later. Like, no. So clearly you didn't care. Like, very clearly you did not care about this franchise and this community. You just said, fuck it, release it, and we'll patch it later. So your point about it being Halo's fault is just completely negated by what you just said later. Like, you just contradicted the exact thing you want. Like, so dumb. Fuck this franchise. I'm done. I will never buy another Battlefield game after this, unless they can truly prove to me. And I won't buy the next one. Like, I promise you that. But, like, unless, you know, unless some reason, like, some God-willing act makes me buy it. But, like, I can't buy it. There's no way. If someone buys it for me, I'm going to return it. Screw that. But I just need to know what you think in the comments. Like, what do you think of this entire situation? Do you think they're just pointing the finger at everybody else and saying it's their fault? Why not they just own up to it? Like, I just want to know what people think about this at this point. Like, I know they've released like a patch or something. Do you think Battlefield 2042 will ever be worth it? Or do you think they should just abandon it and move on? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching, and bye.
My answer is, fuck them.